Sthanas, places. Traya,
from the three.
Param,
transcendental.
transcendental.
Praptam,
Achieved.
Brahmabhutam,
Qualitatively equal with the Supreme Absolute.
qualitatively equal with the Supreme Absolute.
Avikriyam,
unaffected.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.
The Muni's sense organs, breath, mind, and intelligence were all restrained from material activities. They were situated in a trance apart from the three: wakefulness, dream, and unconsciousness. Having achieved a transcendental position qualitatively equal to the Supreme Absolute. So this is the Muni that Parikshit Maharaj, he puts a snake around his neck because he doesn't hear Parikshit Maharaj. Purport. It appears that the Muni in whose hermitage the king entered was in yogic trance. The transcendental position is attained by three processes, namely the process of Gyan, or theoretical knowledge of transcendence, the process of Yoga, or factual realization of trance by manipulation of the physiological and psychological functions of the body, and the most approved process of Bhakti Yoga, or the engagement of senses in the devotional service of the Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita also we have information of the gradual development of perception from matter to a living entity. Our material mind and body develop from the living entity, the soul. And being influenced by the three qualities of matter, we forget our real identity. The jnana process theoretically speculates about the reality of the soul. But Bhakti Yoga factually engages the spirit soul in activities. The perception of matter is transcended, is still subtler states of the senses. The senses are transcended to the subtler mind, and then to breathing activities, and gradually to intelligence. Beyond the intelligence, the living entity is realized by the mechanical activities of the yoga system, or practice of meditation, restraining the senses, regulating the breathing system, and applying the intelligence to rise to the transcendental position. This trance stops all material activities of the body. The king saw the Muni in that position. He also saw the Muni as follows. So, Om Gyanatamandasya Ginandana Salakaya Chakramalitam Dena Tasmai Sri Guruvena Mukam Kotuvatalam Pangam Hayate Kripataram Pade Sri Guruvena Vanchakapati Vyascha Kripasanu Chaparitana Pavani Vaishnava Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Vaikirana Shri Sigurava Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. So we don't find many Munis in the world now. Practically nowhere. You had to go to the Himalayas to find such Munis. They're up there actually. Described the Vyasadeva, they're still in the Himalayas. And there's many. We don't know how many, but it's pretty rare to be such to have the position of a Muni. But as Prabhupada mentions here, the best is the process of Bhakti Yoga, by which we remember our real identity. This is we have the four flaws of the conditioned soul. Tendency, actually the biggest one is a tendency to be an illusion. And that's pretty much rampant all over the material world. People are misidentifying, don't know who they are, an illusion. Another one is we have imperfect senses. You ever noticed?
Yeah.
Imperfect sense. Tell you something interesting happened with a friend of mine and myself. We were at a park and we were Japa walk. We went back to the car and my friend was trying to get in the car. He couldn't put the key in there. So I said, "Let me give it a try." We, opened it up and we got in the car and I looked around and I said, this is not our car. Mistakes. Now here in America, you get in somebody else's car, you can be in heap of trouble. A similar thing happened to Prabhupada. Prabhupada was, he'd go on his morning walk and he was with a servant and they ended their walk and they went to the car and Prabhupada got in the car and the servant got in the car and the servant said, "Hey, Prabhupada, this isn't our car." So the devotee got out of the car and he's looking around for their car. Meanwhile, Prabhupada's still sitting there. The ambassador. Back then, everybody had an ambassador. Back in the early 70s. So it's easy to get in the wrong car. So two gentlemen came and they saw Prabhupada in the car. And, "Oh, Swamiji, Hare Krishna, can we do some service? Where can we take you?" That's India. That's the difference between India. You go to your car and there's somebody sitting in your car, especially if there's a Swami. Now, if it wasn't a Swami, it would have been a little shaky, but you got a Swami sitting in your car. "Swami, Hare Krishna, please." They took him where the Prabhupada said where they did. They took him to his home. And then imagine the devotee, comes back and Prabhupada's not there. So we figured it out. Whoever owned the car came and just drove him home. So they went home. So yeah, we make mistakes. Imperfect senses. Just like now we're all able to see, but if you turn the lights out and you block the sunlight, we won't be able to see anything. I was in Australia one time. We have a farm there, nice farm, New Govardhan farm, and it was I was going to Mangalartik and there was no moon, and you couldn't see anything. I put my hand out, couldn't see my hand at all. So I have good eyes, but can't see anything. If you don't have light, you can't see anything. You have 20/20 vision, but no light, can't see. Tendency to cheat. That's another big one. It's like a big problem in relationships is the partners cheat each other. Big problem. Cheating. And the other one, what's the other one? Imperfect senses, tendency to be an illusion. Imperfect senses. Mistakes. Yeah. So this is the situation. There's one. There's the cheating propensity. I was going to Brazil in a plane. I had my computer, the overhead, and then when I got out, someone had stolen my computer. So you gotta be careful. If people, they'll steal your computer. If you don't watch it. They have my eyes covered. It's taking rest. So a lot of thievery. A lot of thievery going on. A lot of cheating going on. So this is the nature of this world. But with whatever ability we have, we should try to learn as much as we can about Krishna. You know, there's a person who, any idea how many, who has the most amount of PhDs in the world? One person has 30.
No.
30 PhD. He likes to learn. So we should also have this desire, but to learn about Krishna. Try to learn about Krishna. It's like we have mental space. We have mental space. Like that person, 30 PhDs, and I mean, there's a lot of mental space, but we can fill our mental space with so much useless stuff. But better to fill this mental space with Krishna. What is our mental home? What goes into our mental home? You know, like when we have nothing's happening. What goes into our mind? So our mental home, the goal is our mental home should be Krishna. Therefore we have Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. We have the name, the form, the pastimes of Krishna. So fill our consciousness, our mind with Krishna. It's such wonderful pastime. Just like I was just reading recently about Kubja. Krishna was leaving, he left Vrindavan, he went to Mathura, and he came across this hunchback in Kubja. And she was all hunchback, and what was she doing? Remember? She had this sandalwood paste. She was making sandalwood, but it was for Kamsa. And Krishna asked, "Oh, what are you doing?" "Oh, I'm making this sandalwood paste for Kamsa." And she said, "But actually, you two deserve it more." But she started giving them the sandalwood paste. And then what did Krishna do? He stepped on her toe and he pulled her cheeks and straightened her out. She became a very beautiful woman. Krishna's the best chiropractor. And she's very attractive now, so she became attracted to Krishna. Krishna's the most attractive. So she was kind of making giving some leeway towards being attracted to Krishna. Krishna, he was with his friends. He said, I'm a traveling boy, so this is good, but later, kind of funny. So, and there's an interesting pastime of Krishna in Vrindavan. When Kaliya went to Vrindavan, he was in the river there, Jamuna. Actually, it's described as a lake near the Jamuna, and the cowherd boys had drank some of that poison. And when Krishna saw that, they described that they weren't actually dead; they were unconscious. So Krishna brought them back to consciousness. So we also kind of drunk the poison of material consciousness. Right? So by this process of Krishna consciousness, we're also able to wake up, become Krishna conscious. That's real consciousness. Otherwise, if we're not Krishna conscious, kind of like we're also unconscious, not proper consciousness. So we're trying to get into proper consciousness, which is Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, it's very unfortunate. So Krishna is trying to wake us up, as Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Jeev Jago, Gora Chandra, How long are you going to sleep in the lap of the witch Maya? So we're sleeping on the lap of the witch Maya. So we're trying to get out of that unfortunate situation and engage in Krishna consciousness. And this is the pleasure of the soul. And people are sleeping in so many different ways. People are sleeping, engaged in sense gratification. Other people are sleeping, thinking they're God. That's another way to sleep, to be the enjoyer, the proprietor, to be God. I was in book distribution. I saw one T-shirt that said, "God is in LA." Maybe you went to the temple in LA. We have about 800 temples, so God he's all over the place. And there's other temples also. There's deities. There's so many temples, especially in India, thousands. Of course, they're not treated as well as the deities in our temples, and people recognize that. People that visit our temples, they're so beautiful. Such nice decorations and nice dress, and everything's so clean, everything's so pucka. You go to some temples, it's like dirty, and the dress, you can see they haven't changed the dress sometimes in a month or something. You ever seen places like that?
No, it's not temples.
No. I'm talking about other temples.
Oh yeah.
They're not really being taken care of nicely. But yeah, ISKCON temples are always very taken care of very nicely. But there are some exceptions. Believe it or not, there was a temple in the east side where all the devotees left. It was just the deities there for like 2 weeks. Everybody just left. Gradually, everybody just left. It's a farm. We got a farm, about 100 acres, and everybody just left. I don't know if I hope it's true. But yeah. And Prabhupada said, my one fear is that after I leave, you will think, oh, Prabhupada has left us with such a burden, taking care of the deities. He said that's the one fear. No, it's not easy. It's a lot of, 6 offerings a day, change the deities and cook for them and do so many. It's not an easy thing. So Prabhupada said that was his one fear. So yeah, this is the material world. It's not a nice place. I was distributing books the last couple of days at Foothill College. And a few days ago, one lady came. She was really distressed. I said, "What's wrong?" She said, "Oh, my boyfriend left me." I said, "Well, you're not alone. It happens a lot. A lot of divorce, a lot of breakups. You just gotta live with it." So I gave her the example of the earthquake and the lifequake. So you're having a lifequake. Everybody has it. So these books will help you pull through this difficulty. And she said, "Yeah, it's very good you're here. No accidents." So she got some books. And then just yesterday, a man came in. He was also distraught. "Oh, my girlfriend just left me." So I said, "Well, you're not alone." This is what happened. Actually, Krishna says, "Nata tasya bhavat klesho bandhas chanya prasangata." He said, of all different types of suffering and bondage that arise due to material contact, none is greater than the suffering and bondage that a man or a woman experience in the association of each other. This is the greatest suffering. For things like that, there's disappointments and there's breakups and arguing and fighting. There was one instance where a couple went to Prabhupada and said, "Prabhupada, we're always fighting." And Prabhupada said, "That's okay, you can fight, but no shouting." So they said, okay, we won't shout. And then they saw Prabhupada again about a week later, and they said, Prabhupada, we stopped fighting. Oh, really? How's that? And she said, well, if we can't shout, there's no fun. So this is the material world, bound to be so much friction. So I told both of them, you see, there'll always be disappointment because we're imperfect. But if you have a relationship with God, you won't be disappointed because He's perfect. And they both agree. Good point. Disappointment, guaranteed. Today is the disappearance day of Raghunath Bhatta Goswami and Raghunath Das Goswami and Krishnadas Kaviraj. So when Raghunath Bhatta Goswami was a child, he is actually the son of Tapana Mitra. And Lord Chaitanya went and visited this Tapana Mitra. And Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, he would massage Lord Chaitanya. And he would bring him prasad. He was doing so much nice service for Lord Chaitanya. And later when he grew up, Lord Chaitanya said, don't marry. Don't get married. He said, just hear Srimad Bhagavatam constantly. So that was his service. And some of the 6 Goswamis, they wrote, right? A lot of them wrote. But his service was just reading. He would read. It's described that he would read in three different melodies, I guess. And his main reading would be to Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami, really appreciate. And he's the spiritual master of Krishnadas Kaviraj. And his disciple, is the one that built the big Govinda temple in Vrindavan. That big temple that it was 7 stories high, and then the Muslims came. Now I think it's 3 stories high. You've been to Vrindavan? You've been to Vrindavan?
Yes.
You saw the Govinda temple?
Yes.
It's beautiful. It's huge.
Yes.
I mean, although it's 3 stories, it's like big. It's wide. It's huge. So yeah. Then Raghunath Das Goswami, he was an amazing personality. He was the son of a multi-millionaire. But he wasn't interested in money at all. And they got a beautiful wife for him. She was like a goddess. And still he wasn't interested. He just amazing personality. So he kept on trying to run away. And they had to get guards to make sure that he wouldn't escape. He was trying to escape from everything that everybody else wants. Right? Big mansion, you can imagine, that's a big mansion, so much money, so much beautiful wife. Practically everybody wants this, right? But he was in the mood of na janam, na sundari, kavitang va jagadishi kamani, mama janmani janmi isre, bhavatan bhakti. So that was his whole mood. And there was one time when Lord Nityananda was nearby, and he asked his father if he can go and see Lord Nityananda. So he went there, and it's described that Lord Nityananda, he said, I'm going to punish you now. And his punishment was he has to make prasad for all the devotees. I think he put his foot on his head as well. Put his feet on his head. He got the mercy. So, and then he was able to escape because there was one Pujari who was somehow he wasn't able to do a service, and his family guru said, asked if he can go ahead and do that. He said, yeah. So he thought, all right, this is the chance. So he escaped. Went through the forest to Jagannath Puri. And he probably just had something like his pajamas on or something. But he was, I mean, we go to Puri now. You fly to Puri from Mayapur. But he was going through the jungle. I can't imagine. Probably he had to get off the path because they're going to start. They're going to start searching for him. So we're just going through the rugged jungle. Amazing. I mean, you guys know India. Yeah? There's tigers there too, and snakes and tigers. One time when I was in Tirupati, one devotee, Revati Ram, he's the president there. He took me to a zoo where they had all these tigers. They had captured these tigers. There's a lot of tigers still. But to speak back then. So Krishna protected you. And he went to Puri. Imagine you're so happy to see Lord Chaitanya. He had escaped from prison, the prison of material life. And he got the association of Lord Chaitanya. And he was so austere, he was just, at first he was inviting Lord Chaitanya to his, he had a place there. And he would invite Lord Chaitanya because his parents found out he was there and they sent money. They sent money to him so he could, maintain nicely. So he was inviting Lord Chaitanya. And then at one point, he wasn't getting invitations anymore. And he asked Sri Damodar, he's not inviting me anymore with that. He said he thought it was not proper that he should eat so opulently. So he would just beg, at the gate of the Jagannath temple. But eventually he thought, this is like a prostitute, maybe this person will give, maybe that person will give. So he stopped doing that. And then what was he doing? He was taking the rejected food from the temple. It was what the cows would eat. Yeah. So he would take this, and he would just take the rice out and just wash it out, and that was it. And Lord Chaitanya heard about that. Lord Chaitanya went there and he said, "I heard you're eating nectar here. Give me some of the nectar here." He said, "No, Chaitanya, this is not appropriate. You can't eat this. What are you doing? You're saving all this nectar for yourself." So Lord Chaitanya, I think he took some himself, I think. Yeah. So very austere, very austere. And then eventually he was just eating a little bit of buttermilk, every day or two. He'd just have some, just a little buttermilk or something. Very austere, very austere. And then also today is the disappearance day of Krishnadas Kaviraj. Krishnadas Kaviraj is another amazing personality. There was one instance where he was in his home, and there were some devotees there, and I think his brother-in-law he accepted Lord Chaitanya, but not Lord Nityananda. So he chastised him. And Lord Nityananda came to him in a dream. Imagine what mercy. Lord Nityananda came to him in a dream and said, "Go to Vrindavan, and there you will find all things." So the next day, imagine waking up and Lord Nityananda had come to you in a dream. He was an ecstasy. So he went to Vrindavan. Practically, after he bathed, he just went to Vrindavan. And then eventually he started writing the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And he got information from Sri Damodar, and I think maybe anyway, he got some information about the pastimes of of Lord Chaitanya. And it's described that he was so elderly that the Chaitanya Charitamrita, he finished it when he was in his 90s. In his 90s. And he mentioned, I don't know how this is happening. My hand is shaking. I can't see. I can't hear. This is a wonder. He said, this is a wonder. And the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So it was the Lord Chaitanya just working through him wonderfully. And this is actually, this is the perfection of the human form of life. That we can just be an instrument in the hands of Krishna. Just like it said that the kitchen is Radharani's kitchen. Right? So devotees, sincere cooks, they pray to Radharani, please may this be a nice offering for your Lord Krishna. Nice mentality. And of course also on book distribution, we try to be an instrument in the hands of Krishna. Because to do an offering for Krishna, it's not easy, because you got to be pure. And that's what this whole process is about. We're trying to become pure servants again. So maybe I'll stop there. If there's any question, comment, or reflection.
I really like the point you said about the disappointment is guaranteed to, and the only relationship we can form is with Krishna, because nobody is perfect, and you expand upon the imperfections that are in us. So it's hard to expect anybody else to be perfect for Krishna. So, yeah, I like that point.
Yeah, it's kind of asking for too much, because we're conditioned souls. Right? I mean, there's some people that are better than others. You know, it's like there's some devotees in our society that are just exemplary, like Vaiseshika Prabhu and Badahari. You know Badahari?
The Kirtani.
Yeah, Kirtan, very nice. And his wife also. I mean, there are some very exemplary devotees, but it's rare. And you never know. You never know what you're going to get. You can get married and very nice, it appears very nice in the beginning. But then, it's like I have a friend, he married this nice lady, nice devotee, 16 rounds a day, you know, reading, practicing Krishna consciousness. But eventually, she just stopped everything. No chanting, no reading, nothing. And because of that association, he also stopped chanting. You know, he was attached, and you know, she's not chanting. Yeah, no, stop chanting. But then I was talking to him. I asked him, "So how you doing with your rounds?" He said, "Yeah, I haven't been chanting." I said, "What? You gotta chant." So he said, "Oh, yeah, good. Probably good." So he started chanting again. But you never know. But there are also examples, like in LA, there's a devotee. There was an arranged marriage. He married an Indian lady, Indian devotee married an Indian lady, and she wasn't a devotee. But he was such a nice, strict devotee. She became a devotee. She became a nice devotee. So that's also there. And children, also, people have children. You don't know what they're going to be like. It's not that you're choosing your child. You're going to have a child, but you're not choosing who's going to be your child. You hope you hope against hope. You hope for the best and expect the worst. You heard that saying? Expect
the worst, but prepare for the
yeah. Expect the worst. So then they were kind of detached. So, yeah, material world. We never know. what it's going to be like in any situation. Work, like one devotee, so many devotees, they lose their jobs. Everything's going nice. Also, they lose their job. It's a life quake. Everybody has life quakes. More, some have more, some have less, but guaranteed less if we just give our life to Krishna. Guaranteed. Anything else? Anything online? Well, there was one other thing I wanted to mention. There's a little time left. There's a verse in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Maya Mugdha Javar Nahi Swata Krishna Yam. Jivara Kapala Krishna Vedapra. That the living entity cannot revive their Krishna consciousness on their own because of being enchanted. Everybody's enchanted by the illusion. Therefore, Krishna comes and gives us the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. We get the Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna sends his pure devotees. So he tries to help us in various ways. Otherwise, imagine if we didn't have the Bhagavad Gita, we didn't have the Srimad Bhagavatam, we didn't have any devotees to help us. I mean, it'd be a pretty scary world. We'd just be in mind out there in the bodily conception of life. So this is Krishna's kindness, that he comes, he sends his devotees this way. He helps us in many ways. Otherwise, we're just enchanted by Maya. So Krishna comes and we're enchanted by Krishna. Krishna's pastimes, Krishna, the knowledge that he gives. So we become enchanted. Oh, this is so nice. So better be enchanted by Krishna than to be enchanted by Maya. Sound better? Srila Prabhupada ki?
Jai.